And welcome to Corbellic Studios. I'm Corbellic. Today we're going to be doing a painting of a cubism, mosaic, abstract dog, something like that, right? I always say that for all. I say that for all of the titles. I'm pretty sure, right? Whereas like I'm saying like the same thing. It doesn't matter because that's how I look at art. Is that I can say whatever I want to say it is, and I can paint whatever I want to say it is. But yeah, this one is going to be more of a mosaic, abstract dog. All right, it's going to be cool because this one is like one of the favorite things that I like to paint. I mean, not just the dog itself, but it's how I'm going to go about it. I'm going to really go into it doing more of an abstraction colors first, heavy on the layers. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to do the overtone of the mosaic kind of lining of that's going to be abstract of what the dog is. Hey, it's going to work out either way. I've done so many of these. I love doing them. It doesn't matter what it could be. It could be a turtle, it could be a butterfly. This is like my heart right here. You know, this is one of my favorite type of theme paintings. I'm always doing different theme paintings, not just because I love art, which I do, and it's not because I love all these different themes and different ways to have a variation, which I do, but it's really so you can change up the algorithm inside of eBay and you can make the most of the sales. But I break all of these things down. I have a whole system in place so that way you can trigger your account. You don't have to have a guessing game when you're setting your account up and when you're doing these type of paintings. So you want to learn how you can do this for yourself, start making money as early as next week. Click the link below, join us in the free eBay art community, and let's get started on this. All right, so with this painting, let's do a background of maybe like a yellowish blue. Right, we always take the big brush out, and the reason we're going to do it like this as well is that way I don't like to commit to painting the whole. I don't want to commit to painting the whole canvas. So here, let's do it like this. Look at that. This way, I don't have to. When I say I don't have to paint the whole canvas, what I'm saying is that when there's white areas, I don't have to be like, oh, there's a blank area in there, so let me fill it up. I did say that we were going to make this blue, huh? Oh well, it changes. It changes all the time, just like my mind changes. It's okay. You're able to change it around too. Or you know what we'll do? We'll do this. We'll do like where it's a yellowish pink, more at the top middle, and then at the bottom we'll throw in that blue. All right. Look at that. We'll do that. I always like to change it up like this too, and it's really good for the customer's eye too. It throws it off and it makes it more fine art. It makes it more beautiful. It gives it that je ne sais quoi. Look at that. All right. And that is good enough for me. Right? That's how I go about it. All right. So now let's dry this thing off so then we can just go into our colors. This is going to be a really fun one. It's simple because I don't need to marry the whole idea of whatever the dog is. I don't have to do the whole color thing. We already have our colors there. I'm just going to go in whatever kind of abstract quick colors that I want, draw him in, boom, we're done. On to the next one. There's no thought about it. People love it. Boom, and there we go right there. Now let's take out our, what do we want to do? On this one, I'm going to use the 1 inch, or actually, you know what? I'm just going to use the 1.5. That way we just get done quicker. This is the last painting of the day. So you know what it's like when it's your last painting of the day, right? It's like that's kind of your painting, but also that you're ready to get done. You're ready to get done. I had to grab this napkin right here. You want to get done with the day so you can get on with some other stuff. Like as soon as I get done with this painting right here, I have to do like 2 to 3 hours of emails and correspondence, and then I have to do some other business stuff, and then I have to do the editing. But that's the grind of it. That's the fun of it. You have to find the fun in your work as well. Look, let's just go over this color quick. I'm blotching in these colors really quick. Right? Look at this. And really, when you're doing this as well, you don't even have to think about, you could actually turn the projector off and just do random blocks of colorings if you want to. You know, just know where your proportion is at, and then you could just do that. Because we're not married to whatever the image is, we're not married to whatever the design is. It doesn't matter because it's going to be painted over. And as long as you just have the confident brush strokes like that big one that I just put right there, and it doesn't matter. Look at this. Boom. And you can do this too. I know you can do this because some of my best clients haven't painted before, let alone anything with eBay. They haven't painted before at all. And I taught people how to do this. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't even put my feet into this if I feel like I didn't coach people successfully who had no experience at all. That's the only reason why I started my trainings, my school community, is because I was able to do this for other people who had no experience. I was able to coach them on a one-on-one. And you're able to get all of the training. You're already ahead. You're already 90% ahead of everybody, or most people, just by being here and soaking up some of this free game that I put on here. If you're able to get this type of free information, just think about how much information that I give inside the art community. So much. Hit the road running. Oh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. That's what we're talking about. The big brush just coming through, because we want to get the paint through and through. We want to get it through and through. Like, we just want to get through with the project. So just like the same way how I look at it, to be like, all right, as soon as I get done with this, I can get on with emails and I can get on with my other business. That's how you need to be looking at your art as well. Like, what's taking you so long to do it when you could just be thinking to yourself, I just want to get done with this so I can get on to the next painting. That's why I always say that in my artwork. I'm like, I'm not thinking about this painting. I'm thinking about the next painting. I'm always thinking about the next painting. I'm excited to work on the next painting. That's why I want to get done with this one. Be excited to work on the next painting. Be so excited to work on the next painting that you just want to get this one done with. Don't fall in love with that one that you're working on now. Whatever thing that you want to fall in love with it on, fall in love with it on the next painting. And then on that one after that, fall in love with the thing that you want to work on that one on the next painting after that. Choose your paintings. Like, if you're going to be doing 10 to 20 paintings, choose those 10 to 20 paintings as of one project. That's how you need to be doing it. That's how you fall in love with, instead of putting all your creative juices and everything into that one or those two paintings, just do it into a whole body of them. Get on to the next one. There's so many times I leave the studio and I'm like, I can't wait to work tomorrow so I can get whatever that idea or the creative juice out onto the next painting tomorrow. But that's tomorrow. And that's fine to say that's going to be tomorrow as well too. Also feel free to show up, get done with your work, get on to the next painting and get done with your work. So that way you can actually get done with your work. You can leave the studio. Don't stay at the studio. I made that mistake too. There's times where I went broke because I thought the more I worked harder, the more that I kept staying in the studio was going to get better. But it doesn't. It gets worse. The way how you're going to be able to produce fast and also have longevity in this game is you have to have a time structure of how long you're going to be doing these things for. That's why we talk about the 90-minute rule. That way you don't burn yourself out, and that you can feel like you're going home at the end of the day and you leave it there. Whatever happens, happens, as long as you gave it your best. Because when it comes to art, art's never finished. And when it comes to work, work's never finished. Work can never be finished. So it's just like, try your best and leave it there. Whatever you didn't accomplish, you're going to accomplish it the next day. And whatever you didn't accomplish that day, you're going to accomplish it. As long as you tried your best and you have a checklist. It gives you something to look forward to if you work fast and you're producing the work. It gives you something to look forward to get off of work. It gives you a reward. Like right now, I had a productive day. So I don't get to go home early. I mean, I get to go home on my time that I always do. But right now, I get to work with my clients. I get to answer emails. I get to show engagement. Then I get to do editing. And then it's like my day's done and I had a productive day. That gives me something to look forward to. What doesn't make me have something to look forward to is if I'm doing this all day because I'm not putting the time in. All right, let me dry this off with the heat gun, and we're practically done cooking with fire here. All right, and there we go. So now let's just go back into it. Now let's just go back into it with the black lining. And like I said, this doesn't have to have any thought about it as well. This is kind of be our like mosaic. So we're free to really play around with this as much as we want, really. But we do have the proportions there to safeguard us. But also we were really like freestyling with our colors. So when you freestyle with your colors as well, you're also able to play around with the black lining of whatever you did with your colors. It's always like the last paintings of the day. They always turn out so special. I don't know if I'm biased. I don't know if I don't know if it's because I don't care. There's just less of a pressure on it, or because I'm excited. But there's always it's just such a special thing. And I always say to myself, like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this one. Well, let's see how this dog's gonna show up first before we say anything like that. But look, that's why I said this is like a rough mosaic, abstract mosaic. When I was in my gallery days, I would call myself the mosaic painter, and I would do these exquisite paintings that were mosaic, and they used to take me so long to do because I used to draw it out first with the sketch. Well, first I used to put layers of gesso on top and let that dry, then put another layer of gesso and let it dry, and then I would draw it out maybe a couple times down to the details. You know, I wouldn't even do where it was like just the black paint into it. I would just draw it out and, you know, sketch it. And that part right there might have took a day. Something ridiculous. And then I would Then I would have the projector and go with different angles, and then after I drew it out, I would go inside each pencil line with the color, make sure the colors were different, right? All the colors are different. That process might have took 2 days or so, right? Then after I'm done doing that process, then I would go in with a fine paintbrush with ink, or make sure it was golden paint, but the flow of it, the flow golden paint. And then I would go over the lines. Like, I can't even imagine doing art like that now. Like, I'm wasting money. And then I get mad. Then I get mad at the market, and I get mad at everybody else because the art, it's not selling at the rate that I wanted to, or it's not, whatever else happens. I'm like, they don't know good art. All right, now I'm going to dry off this black, because I don't like painting on top of black. It smears too much. And then we're practically done. I'm going to just be funky, go over it with some abstract, and we're almost done. All right, boom. There we go right there. Let's go in with, I have a little bit of light blue. I need to make some more. I don't buy light blue. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I create it with a navy blue and white paint. We're just going to use all the rest of this up. And look, you see how I'm not married to the lines? Like, whatever happens, happens. This is where we just freestyle. Actually, we could just turn the light on. We don't need the projector. Get to a point where in your art, where you don't need the projector, or maybe you just already have your proportions. You could do that too. There's so many different ways of how you can navigate how you create art within your projector. And you could do it where you have your proportions already, and maybe it's just you're doing your colors and you don't need anything from it. So then what you can do is start just freestyling it without the projector on. And that works for me. Right? And I know it works for you too. I can't wait to see what the AI pulls off of this one. Look how cool that is. Now the last thing that we're going to do is, let me add some red. Actually, let me do like a black. And then look, we're going to do something like this. All right. And that is that. There we go. Add a glint to its eye. And that is that. Look at that. Isn't that great? Look at that beautiful dog. We just did that together. There was no thought process into that. There was nothing difficult about that. Now we could put this on a gallery wall and we could easily sell this for $2,000. No problem. And people will buy it because people love dogs, but people also love abstract dogs. They love a variety of dogs. They like Mosaic. They like where it's authentic. It's you. I can't train you, and I can't teach you how to be you. You are already a phenomenal person, you by yourself. You know how to do this, all right? But if you want to learn how you can flip it and how you can list it on eBay and you can make the money as early as next week, click the link below, join the eBay art community, and I'm going to see you in there.